if Carson Wentz can take you a lot of the way there, and then Nick Foles takes over, and as a result of that, like last year, they had a good playoff position, and then you need to use more of your horses because Nick Foles can do less. As a result of that, at least temporarily, your team gets more integrated and juiced. That's a good thing.
Let me point out this. First of all, since last year, Carson Wentz is 16-8 as a starter, 54 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. When you look at those kind of results, those kind of numbers, to me, if indeed one can say that the Philadelphia Eagles and Doug Pederson is better off for Foles than Carson Wentz, it's the ultimate indictment against Doug Pederson. Because if Carson Wentz is the better talent, then it will go, I will piggyback off of what Ryan Clark says and say to him, why are you asking him to do so much? I'm looking at numbers right now. Why is it that you've got Zach Ertz? He's been targeted 136 times. Now, you say he's asking them to do more, but I'm seeing a drop-off. Nelson Aguilar targeted 84 times. Alshon Jeffrey targeted 82 times. Dallas Goedert targeted 38 times. And we know that this kid has the potential to be a stud. It seems to me that obviously since Carson Wentz was playing up until last week or so, first couple of games Nick Foles played, I'm just looking at it from the perspective that, again, if Ryan Clark is absolutely right, and I have no reason to believe otherwise, I'm looking at Doug Pederson because my mentality is if I have a better weapon at the quarterback position, and it's obvious he is better than Nick Foles, but somehow Nick Foles is better with what I want him to do than Carson Wentz is better with what I want him to do, then maybe you are the problem for Carson Wentz as opposed to opposing defenses.
No, listen, I don't disagree with that. And it's difficult to have this conversation because it almost sounds like you're saying Carson Wentz hasn't been good for Doug Pederson and the Eagles. And then those numbers that you just stated obviously say he has. But when you're watching this team play this year, there's a different effect that Nick Foles has had when they knew he was going to be the quarterback for an extended period of time.
And the two are interrelated. In the Venn diagram, there's some shaded area here. Right. But how much of it is Pederson's play calling changing? And how much of it, or even game planning, and how much of it is next man up mentality, knowing there's a drop-off in talent, everyone feels a little more responsible.
That's a huge piece of it. And that's why I make the distinction between Nick Foles playing for an extended period of time. Right. Because when at the start of the season, you knew Nick Foles was going to be the quarterback, but only until Carson Wentz was healthy. It wasn't a let's rally around Nick, let's everybody step their game up because he's our guy for the long haul. It was like, hey, man, let's just get this thing into Carson's back. And we all kind of said and poo-pooed the start and said when Carson Wentz gets back, this thing is going to be different because he is that much greater of a talent. But Nick Foles down the stretch last year, even though we watched him play great in the Super Bowl, there were 2 games there at the end of the season, also divisional playoffs of the against the Atlanta Falcons, where he wasn't good. Right? Where this team had to pull the win out with defense and with running the football. And so I'm not saying that every game Nick Foles is going to play well and have this team in position to win. What I'm saying is the people stepping up, Doug Pederson game planning different, calling plays different.
It's like Fitzmagic, right? Like Ryan Fitzpatrick if you don't overexpose him, can be a very effective quarterback. If you're fooled into believing he's going to take you the whole season, he'll get exposed. But over the short run, he could be good. I think the same is true with Foles. I think that's why you have your hopes up that the Giants play Odell Beckham against the Cowboys.
Yeah, let's go there right now, Stephen A. Smith.
I'm hoping for the collapse. Y'all have no idea.
Here we go.
This week is so important to me. It's so important to me. I can sense it.
Those folks really don't like you.
Let me tell you something. If the Dallas Cowboys lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Sunday, and they have to go into the last week of the NFL season, the week of Christmas, with this panic resonating and hovering over the city of Dallas.
But the Eagles also have to beat the
How much
Texans.
of a chance do you give the Eagles to catch the Cowboys?
That's a tricky question. You know why? Because if you're telling me, do I give the Eagles a chance to beat Houston this week? I give them a chance. I give them a 50-50 chance to beat the Houston Texans this week. All right? My issue is Tampa Bay. Can I trust Tampa Bay to take out Dallas in Dallas? I can't. Not with Jameis Winston. Not with how awful that defense has been. Not with them being this haphazard. I can't do it. But I'm praying. Because, again, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles win, remember, the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles play in the season finale. So if they both win this week, because that's a lot asking for a lot, then one of them's got to win the season finale. If Dallas loses, then they go into the last week.
This is really what you're talking about.
Christmas week with the Cowboys Nation in complete panic mode. Oh my goodness! Talk about Christmas early for me.
I used to think this was an act.
By the way, we'll be here Christmas Day, everyone.
Really
We're working.
This is special.
Really
my Lord, I don't think Tampa could do it, but I'm telling you right now,
Ryan,
I've gotten up every morning this week. And I don't usually pray for the Cowboys.
Listen, I was at CVS yesterday. I bought Santa hats, and there was a Bah Humbug hat.
Hey,
and I really wanted to get it for him. It was a black Bah Humbug hat. And I'm like, it depends how this goes, what kind of mood he's in.
I swear to you from my heart. This week, when I realized that the Dallas Cowboys could potentially lose this week and go into that last week, I have gotten on my knees and prayed every single night that the Cowboys lose this weekend. Because do you have any idea how miserable the Cowboys nation is going to be next week if the Cowboys lose this Sunday?
Right.
It'll be special. It'll be special.
It's a blood in the water argument. There's blood in the water right now in the NFC East.
It's blood in the water.
Do you believe now? I think maybe the Eagles are the Sharks. Like, they will smell that blood in the water and go bananas right now. Maybe they could pull out the win against the Texans and actually win out. But are the Cowboys that team to collapse with blood in the water?
I don't think they are. I don't believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Giants are the teams to take the Cowboys out right now. And maybe losing to the Colts was what they needed to kind of re-energize this thing and get back to what they did on a 5-game winning streak.
What if it happens?
All right, we gotta go.